Good afternoon, everyone. Preeti ma'am is
Recording in progress.
Preeti ma'am is occupied with something. She'll be joining us in some time. On behalf of the Women and Young Members Excellence Committee of the ICI, it is my pleasure to welcome you all to Yashaswini and Idol Series 66. Yashaswini and Idol is a Wednesday series of program conducted by the WYMEC for the women CAs and by the women CAs. This series is an extension of the Sky High Synopsis, which concludes its 100 episodes. It is one of the committee's initiatives to not only disseminate information to women members on technical updation and non technical skills, but also to empower and inspire women members to come at forefront and realize their verbal skills at public forum. Today, I would also like to draw your attention towards the upcoming program Yuva and Ascent of Excellence Youth Program, which is scheduled on the 2nd of August 2025, which is to be organized at the NSC Auditorium BKC. We have various eminent speakers and panelists who will be sharing their expertise and insights in the program. So it is a great opportunity for all the CAs. Request you to register before the seats get full. So today I take the pleasure of introducing CA Tasneem Dalal ma'am, who will guide us through the role of CAs in the evolving Web3 economy. Is a proprietor of a leading CA firm and holds multiple certifications, including FCA, DBM, IMC, and certifications in AI for CAs, GST audit, FAFD audit, and anti-money laundering. She is an active member of several ICAI initiatives. She combines technical knowledge with leadership roles in the CA community. Over to you, CA ma'am, CA Tasneem ma'am.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, friends and professional colleagues. Thank you very much to the Women and Young Members Excellence Committee for giving me this opportunity to speak on the role of CAs on evolving Web3 economy. And Preeti ma'am and CA Raviji are not there, but thank you to all the committee members. And thank you, Sneha, for giving such a lovely introduction.
Welcome, ma'am.
Um, Okay, so the role of CAs in the evolving Web3 economy. Now, first, let me just introduce what is the traditional roles of our chartered accountants. One is that core responsibilities of financial reporting, auditing, taxation, compliance, strategic financial advisory. And we require a number of skills like expertise in financial management, regulatory compliance, and risk management. Before I actually go on to the role of the CAs in Web3, the key challenges, opportunities for CAs in Web3, case studies, skills, and future trends, and skill development, I would like to introduce what is Web3. So, the Web3 is the next generation of the internet, which is built on blockchain technology, decentralization, and it's a token based economies. What are the key features? It is decentralized networks. That means there is no central authority. Blockchain for transparency and security, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, and smart contracts. So it shifts the control from the corporations to users, enabling peer to peer transactions. Uh, Now, what is the difference between Web 1 and Web 2? Web 1 was in the 1990s. So basically, it was a very simple form of internet, and it was just designed to help people find the data more efficiently. Now we are in Web 2. So, Web 2, it is dynamic, it is read, write, but it is controlled by a centralized platform like Google, Facebook, etc. So the web that you are right now on, that's Web 2. So everything from TikTok to your Sudoku puzzles that you solve every day in the morning, everything is it's your Web 2 product. And Web 3, which is the new thing which is already started. It is where you read, you write, plus you own. So it's the next generation of the internet. Now, these are the following core components: blockchain, cryptocurrencies, smart contracts, decentralized autonomous organization for collective governance, NFTs, and DFI, that is the decentralized finance, decentralized identity. So, these are just the core components. Introduction to cryptocurrencies. I think most of us are aware of what cryptocurrencies are, but the definition is that it's a digital or it's a virtual currency using cryptography for security. Now, the importance is that increasing relevance in the global and the Indian financial systems. And the objective is to understand the fundamentals, regulations, and the tax aspects of crypto. Uh, History of cryptocurrency is that it emerged first in 1983 when American cryptographer David Chaum he published a conference paper outlining an early form of anonymous cryptographic electronic money. And at the height of the global financial crisis in 2008, a group of people with a pseudonym Satoshi Nakamoto, whose real identity is still unknown till date, he launched a system called the Bitcoin network, which is a peer to peer payment network that operates on a cryptographic protocol. Now, there are a number of cryptocurrencies available: Bitcoin, Ethereum, stable coins, utility tokens, security tokens, etc. 2009, Bitcoin was launched by Satoshi Nakamoto and the others, that means Ethereum and all that, they are also known as alternate cryptocurrencies, and they were launched to improve on the Bitcoin's limitations of speed, privacy, smart contracts. Now, who is this Satoshi Nakamoto? It's a pseudonym for a person or a group of people who developed the first Bitcoin software cryptocurrency. Nakamoto, he remained active till 2010, but after that, no one has heard anything. And when you go on the net also actually to check how does he look like, what is he, there are all different pictures. So actually, the identity is totally unknown. Now, there are two key milestones. One is the rise of the decentralized finance. What is the decentralized finance? It refers to the blockchain-based fundamental financial applications that operate without intermediaries. That means there are no banks or brokers in these transactions. And these are all financial transactions. And it is mostly built on Ethereum. So, decentralized finance, it enables peer-to-peer lending. Decentralized exchanges are there. Yield farming is there. Staking, synthetic assets, and derivatives. And the second key milestone is your NFTs. NFT is the non-fungible tokens. So they are unique, because these are digital tokens that represent ownership of digital or physical assets like art, music, virtual real estate, games, etc. Features are that non-fungible, that means each token is unique. Proven ownership is publicly verifiable. There are smart contracts, they define the transferability, royalties, authenticity, and they are interoperable. Now, to understand the Web3 concepts, it's just a very simplified way, these are just 4 points which I'm just trying to make people understand. Blockchain technology is first one: mining and staking for transaction validation, wallets, hot versus cold, and consensus mechanism. That means proof of work and proof of stake. Blockchain is a digital ledger that records transactions in a secure, transparent, and tamper-proof way. It's like your, Excel worksheets, so which is duplicated across thousands of computers. So every new transaction becomes a block, and there is a chain which is formed. So it becomes immutable. Second point is your mining and your staking. So there are two different methods used to validate transactions: mining and staking. Mining is for proof of work systems like Bitcoin. So computers solve complex puzzles, and the first one to solve it adds a new block and gets rewarded with cryptocurrency. And staking is your proof of stake systems. C is your wallets, hot versus cold. A crypto wallet is actually your private key. So it's like a password to access and manage your crypto assets. So basically, hot wallets are connected to the internet. So they are very convenient, but they are more vulnerable to hacking. So you have example mobile web wallets and cold wallets. They are offline. It uses the USB drives or paper. And the fourth is your consensus mechanism. This is the proof of works and proof of stake. So in proof of work, this is actually how the blockchain networks agree on the validity of the transactions. So proof of work means miners use computing power to solve puzzles. Secure but consumes a lot of energy, which is used by Bitcoin. And proof of stake is validators are selected based on the number of coins they stake. So it is faster, cheaper, but more environmental friendly also. Now, how does a cryptocurrency work? Suppose if A wants to send to B, this transaction is broadcasted in the network. The network of computers or nodes, they verify the transaction. The verified transaction is grouped into a block. The block is added to the blockchain, and then user B receives the cryptocurrency. So this is a sort of a diagram which sort of represents how the cryptocurrency works. You can see in the first one, the user wants to sell the crypto. Second, the transaction is broadcast to the network. In the third, the computer's nodes verifies the transaction. Fourth is, again, the whole thing is verified and it forms into a block. And this block is added to the blockchain. And this in the sixth one, the user B receives the cryptocurrency. This is more in detail, and it's the basically what was the pictorial representation. This has just been broken down in all the steps, and it's the same thing. Now, what is the use cases? The use cases is for payments, transfers, investment, speculation, smart contracts, decentralized finance, NFTs, and gaming. Advantages and risk. The advantages is that it's decentralized, it's transparent, lower costs because you are removing the cost of in between the intermediaries like banks, brokers, etc. But the risk is very high, is very volatile. There are security threats. And till date, the regulations are not in place so people are very vulnerable, to hacking. Now, what is our role of chartered accountants in Web3? Accounting and financial reporting of digital assets. We have to apply our professional judgments when we are looking and how to account the treatment of crypto assets based on their nature, purpose, and usage. Now, accounting standards specifically for cryptocurrencies or other crypto assets are not there. So CAs, VCAs have to rely on interpreting the existing Indian AS frameworks. Accounting and audit also. There is no specific accounting standards or in NAS. Inventory or intangible classification, disclosure in notes to accounts, and considerations under tax audit. Now, this is just a rough I've given because when the Indian AS are applicable, like intangible assets. So AS 38, Indian AS 38. For crypto assets held for investment or long-term appreciation, it's generally measured at cost, less impairment unless revaluation is reliably measurable. Indian AS2, that is on inventories for entities dealing in crypto assets as inventory. Example, exchanges, it's measured at lower of cost and NRV or at fair value, less cost to sell. India's AS109, financial instruments. This is applicable in rare cases. And then how do you measure? So we take the help of Indian AS113. How do you determine the fair price, the principal and the most advantageous market, addressing the fair value hierarchy, addressing price volatility and consistency of data sources? And the third is the financial statements and the disclosures. So disclosures have to make the nature, the classification, how you valued it, custody arrangements, etc. Let us come to the tax advisory and compliance. In India, crypto assets are taxed under Section 115 BBH at 30%, and TDS is also applicable under Section 194S. CA's assistant classification, whether it's capital gains, business income, TDS compliance, reporting under schedule of foreign assets, GST implications, we'll just try to cover up all that. I've put for the UAE also, whether CA's advice on classification under corporate tax laws, ESR, and AML and CFT frameworks. In this evolving Web3 culture, uh, how are we going to audit the blockchain transactions, verification of smart contracts, valid balances, DeFi activity using blockchain explorers, forensic tools like chain analysis, tracker, establishing audit trails and validating transactions recorded on chain, adopting audit methodologies to address the transparency and immutability of blockchain data. Now we just come to the global regulatory landscape. This is just to give an idea globally what is happening. Like in US, the status is fragmented. It's moving toward federal framework. In Europe, there is unified regulation across Europe. In UK, innovation friendly evolving framework is still going on. In China, it is prohibited. Singapore is regulated, institutionalized, friendly. So just globally, just to give an idea what's happening. Now, cryptocurrency in India. What is the regulatory status, the legal status? It is not banned, but then it is not recognized as currency. So it is treated as a virtual digital asset, VDA under the Income Tax Act, and no deducted crypto legislation or regulatory authority as of July 25. Income tax implications in India. This was introduced in Finance Act 2022. Section 115 BBH imposes a flat 30% tax plus 4% health and education cess on all income arising from the transfer of VDAs, including cryptocurrencies, NFTs, utility tokens, etc., as defined under Section 247A of the Act. And no deduction is allowed. There is no set off, and irrespective of the holding period. So there is no distinction. Then we have TDS also from July 1st, 2022. 1% TDS is payable to the buyer who transfers crypto and NFT when aggregate consideration is more than 50,000 in a financial year or 10,000 in specified cases. So this applies to all transactions on exchange, P2B trades where the payer pays to deduct penalties and interest also apply. Now, pre-2022 transactions, there was a ITAT ruling that cryptocurrencies were treated as capital assets. So gains from transfers before 2022 were taxed as capital gains and deductions were available, exemptions was there if the holding period was greater than 36 months. Reporting and compliance. Crypto income is to be reported under Schedule VDA in ITR form. The government has recently issued notices and initiated searches also under the CBDT to enforce compliance. So government is trying to tighten its hold. Like we come to GST. What is the applicability on crypto activities? There is no explicit SAC code yet. But crypto exchange services are taxable services and typically at 18%. Crypto mining or staking, when carried on as a business and meeting the turnover thresholds, may also attract 18% GST as supply of services. Crypto used to fund purchase of goods, services is treated as barter, and GST applies to the fair market value of goods, services provided in exchange. And reverse charge also may arise if services are imported. That means Web3 consultancy, if you pay to a non-resident, so maybe RCM may also be applicable. So how will you define cryptocurrency in GST? It doesn't come under money because money means legal tender of foreign currency as recognized by RBI. What about securities? No, it's not form of securities also, because securities is defined under the Securities Contracts Regulation Act, and securities means shares, your the derivatives, debentures, etc. So it is not considered a security also. What is goods under GST? Goods is your movable property and actionable claims. So this will not come, definitely cryptocurrencies will not come in goods, because it is not a movable property and it is not an actionable claim also. So the only definition left is your services, because services means anything other than goods, money, and securities, but also includes activities relating to use of money or its conversion by cash or by any other mode, from one currency to another currency, form, denomination, etc. So basically, cryptocurrencies will form part as a service. Now, in case of provisions of services outside India and getting paid in cryptocurrencies, so will it be termed as an export? So it will not be termed as an export, because RBI says in the export rules that if you export something, you must receive the money. The payment must be received in convertible foreign exchange or in Indian rupees. So now, crypto is not a legal tender. So again, this will not fulfill. Then we come to Companies Act. So in Companies Act, amendment was made to Schedule 3 on 24/3/21, which was applicable from 1/4/21. So which required companies to disclose their investments in cryptocurrencies. Second, to state any profit or loss involved with the transaction. And third, to declare the number of holdings, details of deposit, and advances which they have received for trading or invested in cryptocurrency. And in Budget 25/26, the government has proposed introducing an amendment to require reporting entities to furnish detailed information regarding crypto asset transactions, aligning the definition of virtual digital assets accordingly. So, this is the latest thing which has come. Now, for cross border transactions, import of services, goods, virtual money paid. So, FEMA, regulations of FEMA, master directions on export of goods and services are likely to apply. Export restrictions provide that only authorized channels may be utilized to receive and pay virtual money. So, as a result, a cross border exchange would be disallowed. Now, suppose if an Indian national is going abroad and he is carrying virtual currency, will that be allowed? No, because he has to receive that fiat money through recognized banking channels. Otherwise, it may be a breach of export regulations. So, for FEMA, as of mid 2025, FEMA regulations do not specifically govern cryptocurrency transfers. RBI has not issued formal guidelines on cross border crypto. So, Indian residents holding crypto on overseas exchanges or wallets, they have to disclose their holdings in the ITR schedule of foreign assets under the global income provisions. And transactions involving foreign counterparties may trigger FEMA compliance, especially if there is a funds flow into or out of India. SEBI regulations, SEBI Investment Advisors Regulation 2013 and SEBI Portfolio Managers Regulation 2019, government investment advisors and fund managers in India. So there is no ban on managing and advising on crypto assets in the regulation. So SEBI has made public list of commodities in which managers and advisors are entitled to trade. Investment counselors of fund managers, they provide virtual currency services in India. They do so in their individual capacity rather than SEBI authorized managers or advisors. So again, the Companies Act has already passed the amendment, and it will require the Indian investment advising firms and wealth management firms to disclose their holdings and ownerships of cryptocurrencies and venture capital firms to the Indian government. Individual advisors and fund managers may be unaffected. Similarly, for Information Technology Act of 2000, the Indian Computer Emergency Response Team, the CERT-IN, has issued directions on 28/4/22 that KYC is compulsory for virtual asset service providers, virtual asset exchange providers, and custodian wallet providers, and they have to maintain records of financial transactions for a period of 5 years. Anti-money laundering activities. Again, they have introduced KYC norms, and they are currently established in several distinct legislations and RBI guidelines. Now, these restrictions actually do not affect specifically to businesses that use virtual currency, but slowly the government is trying to bring in laws and to try to regulate, virtual currencies. March 7, 2023, the government issued a notification and brought transactions in following cryptocurrency assets in the PML Act, that is the Prevention of Money Laundering Act. So it laid out the nature of transactions to be covered under the PML Act. So, like exchange between virtual digital assets and fiat currencies, exchange between one or more forms of virtual digital assets, transfer of virtual digital assets, safekeeping or administration of virtual digital assets. So everything, whatever is there, the nature of transaction, it has got covered in the PMLA Act. Now, assessment of the current scenario, evaluating the cryptocurrencies. Benefits of cryptocurrencies is decentralization, anonymity, accessibility, immutability, programmability, low transaction fees, faster transaction time, fungibility, durability. But the risks are also quite a bit. Absence of intrinsic value, excessive volatility, security risk, government regulations, limited adoption, technical complexity, dependence on third party service providers, lack of consumer protection. There are a number of frauds which are happening, Ponzi and pyramid schemes, which promises their high returns paid from new investors' money. That means you're supposed to bring an investor and you will get paid so and so. And that again, the cycle keeps repeating. Like investor one has to bring investor two, and investor two has to bring investor three. And that is how a promise of high returns is made, subject that you bring a new investor. Now, in Gain Bitcoin India, 20,000 plus crore scam was there involving fraudulent gold mining contracts. BitConnect Global, there was 2 billion lost, which was shut down in 2018. Then the second is rug pulls, exit scams. Like developers launch cryptocurrency and they then just exit. So the whole liquidity is gone. Then Squid Game token 2021, the token creators exited with 3.3 million of investor funds. Actually, this is something very new, so people are not sure. So they are, everyone is going into this, but without actually realizing, a lot of digital frauds can take place. Third is phishing and impersonation, fake wallets, exchanges, customer service strict user into giving private keys. So, number of frauds have taken place. One of the recent frauds is CoinDCX. This is one of the leading Indian crypto exchange, and it experienced a 44.2 million security breach, affecting an internal operational account. So the company has assured users that customer assets remain safe and trading continues uninterrupted. Experts emphasize the urgent need for stronger industry wide security standards and transparent incident disclosures to protect users from evolving cyber threats. What is the recent trends? RBI has removed digital rupee, CBDC. CBDC is central bank digital currency. So it is a digital form of India's physical currency, which has been issued by the Reserve Bank of India in digital form and offers features which is similar to physical cash like convenience of use, guarantee of RBI, finality of settlement, etc. And this can be stored in users' digital wallet and can be used to receive, send money, and or make payment for transactions, just like any physical note. If you see that logo, this is the logo which Reserve Bank has designed, cash but digital. This is the logo and the tagline for India's CBDC. Now, in G20 Presidency 2023, India advocated for global crypto regulations with IMF and FATF. FATF is the Financial Action Task Force collaboration. IMF is the International Monetary. So FATF is the Global Money Laundering and Terrorist Financing Posture. It sets international standards that aim to prevent these illegal activities and the harm they cause to society. Crypto bill is still under consideration. It's proposed, but not yet introduced in the parliament. So as on 21st July 2025, government of India has imposed income tax on cryptocurrencies and at the same time clarified that cryptocurrencies does not mean that it is legalized. On 19/7, that means this month, 19/7/25, India's adoption of the Crypto Asset Reporting Framework, CARF. It aligns its tax systems with global standards, targeting offshore crypto tax evasion. CARF mandates detailed crypto transaction disclosures, ensuring transparency, fiscal sovereignty, and regulatory parity for foreign platforms by 2027. So, India is among the 52 designated relevant jurisdictions that have committed to implanting CARF by the year 2025. So, in furtherance of this commitment, the Finance Bill 2025 also proposes a new section 285 BAA under the Income Tax Act. And this proposed section mandates designated reporting entities to furnish comprehensive information regarding crypto asset transactions. And this provision is slated to take effect from 1st April 2026. Now, RBI's Payments Vision 2025, RBI wants to evaluate and elevate the payment system in India to empower users with affordable payment options accessible anytime, anywhere with convenience. So it is trying to make use of various gateways of payment, UPI IDs and all that, GPay. So the core theme for RBI is e-payments, e-payments for everyone, everywhere, every time. The four E's. So the vision is to provide with safe, secure, fast, convenient, accessible, and affordable e-payment option. These are the 6 attributes which the RBI Payment Vision 2025 has. Now we come back to ourselves. Why CAs matter in Web3? So we have always been used to the traditional method. Now we have to bridge that gap from traditional to the decentralized finance. So we have to ensure the compliance in a decentralized environment. We have to audit blockchain-based transactions. We have to advise on crypto tax regulations. Trust and transparency is definite. It is there because we have to try and verify smart contract integrity, enhancing stakeholders' confidence. So we have to upgrade our skills. But there are a lot of challenges for all of us, like valuation complexities, regulatory arbitrage, compliance burdens, AML, that is the Anti Money Laundering Act, FATF, Financial Action Task Force, non compliance risks. So, a lot of risks are there for professionals also. Now, the way forward is for comprehensive framework, role of professions in advisory, opportunities, like we can have crypto advisory, audit, tax. So our work can widen a lot. But with that, we need to upskill ourselves, and we need to understand how we are going to do in the future. How are we going to audit, contracts which are decentralized? How are we going to do that? So we also need to plan out everything. We need to upskill ourselves, and we need to change and be updated with technology. So the way forward is mitigating the risks and vulnerabilities. So first is need for financial and technological literacy, which I just spoke of. Second is quick and a robust redressal mechanism. Then redressing the over-regulations, usage of smart contracts, incentivizing digital modes of payment, and we have to address the gray areas, promote the safety and security of payment systems, ensure consumer. This is actually basically the government's the way forward. The government has to take care of all these, like promote the safety and security of payment systems, ensure consumer protection, encourage innovation, promote financial inclusion, and promote competition. So the final conclusion is chartered accountants are uniquely positioned to bridge traditional financial expertise and emerging decentralized technologies. So by expanding the competencies in blockchain, regulatory compliance, and digital assets management, CAs can act as trusted advisors in the Web3 economy, ensuring transparency, accountability, and sustainability growth. Thank you so much. And I would just like to point out that on we have done, I was a part of the research team where our mentor was CA Dr. Shradul Shah, and we were the research participants. And we have done this, on digital payments, and WRC has published it. So just for the information. Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am. So the question from Anita Srinivasan from Chennai. If cryptocurrency is not classified as currency under FEMA but is traded globally like once, should this be treated as a digital asset, a commodity, or a foreign exchange instrument?
No, so it depends, no, ma'am, because who has got this cryptocurrency? Whether it is, used in the business, whether the person, whoever has invested it, has kept it for investment purpose. So it'll depend on that. Basically, cryptocurrency is a very gray area as of now, because the rules, regulations are not very tight. So we have to take the help of the Indian AIS accounting standards, and we have to use our judgments, and accordingly we have to put it.
Okay. Any more questions? So I'm not getting any question further.
Okay. No, but if anyone has question also, they can always send it across to you, and I'll be happy to answer,
Yes. I'm just checking the list only. Okay, ma'am. Then I think thank you so much, ma'am, for your valuable insight and time. We
Thank you.
truly appreciate your presence here today.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Now, to continue the session, I invite CA Nirali to introduce our next speaker. Over to you.
Thank you, Pooja. I would like to give an introduction for Khushbu Rinsungia, who is a chartered accountant, who is a businesswoman and life transformation coach with a mission to empower women and individuals to live in inner alignment and abundance. She combines ancient wisdom with modern tools to help people manifest their highest potential. Over to you, Khushbu. Khushbu, if you're speaking, I think you're on mute.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, now you're clear.
All right. Hello, everyone. This is my second time I'm coming on this platform, and I'm very, very grateful to the CA Institute, ICAI, and this Women Entrepreneur Organization, which is called Yashaswini, which every Wednesday hosts ample of good, informative, and resourceful sessions. And I'm very, very grateful to Miss Preeti and Mr. President, who's been a part of this organization right from the start, and very, very grateful to my mentors, because of whom I am here today, and being on this platform. It means a lot. And thank you so much for a very warm introduction, Pooja and Nirali. Hello? Am I audible?
Yes, Khushbu, you're
All
audible.
right.
Yes.
All right. So today we are going to talk about an entrepreneurial mindset and scaling vision. Now, why am I talking about entrepreneurial mindset and scaling vision? In my last session, I had taken a session on mindset mastery. So we had almost reached to a point that we are almost on the path to modify our framework and reframe our mind towards positive things. So now, since I being an entrepreneur, I being a working professional, I also need to know which point of time I need to scale, how I need to develop a vision. So for that, first, this session is very much important for people who are budding entrepreneurs, who are looking for great ventures, who are CA professionals, which with business aspirations, and ICAI members who are trying to start a startup, women entrepreneurs. So the first, I would like to tell you, since it's not an interactive session, I would like to say who is an entrepreneur. We all know that entrepreneurship, hum padhte hain, sunte hain, thanks to Shark Tank, that a lot of people have got into this field of becoming an entrepreneur. So, who is an entrepreneur? Is what we are going to look. So there is this very famous book which I read in my college days itself, which really inspired me, was Rich Dad Poor Dad. We all have read this book, which is written by the famous author Robert Kiyosaki, and I had got a chance to meet him as well. So this is the entrepreneurial, or you can say a cash flow quadrant, which was taken from his. That time I really understood that what exactly I am, where I stand today. So if you people are in the E quadrant, that is, are you doing a job? That means you are working for someone. Second is the self-employed people who are working, but their working hours are, they earn money on their working hours. And business owners are people, like the entrepreneurs are people who create an ecosystem for themselves, and there are people who work for them. And the fourth comes the investors, where your money works for you. So when you invest funds, you get money out of it. So basically, we are in the quadrant of becoming an entrepreneur. That is the B quadrant, business owner. Now, what is the entrepreneurial map? I want everyone to actually take 5 seconds and think what an entrepreneurial thinking today is. What do you think is an entrepreneur skill in you? Today, where do you stand from 1 to 10? So, if you stand in 1 to 3, that means you're playing very safe. If you think you are testing waters, that is, you're still figuring out where to reach, how to start, where to start, then you are under the gap of 4 to 6. And 7 to 10, that when you're ready, you're all pepped up, ki now I'm ready to scale. So that is bandwidth of 7 to 10. So you need to rate where you are right now. So accordingly, you have to work on those areas. So playing safe is basically you're just working under someone, or you are developing a self employment in yourself, that now I can do this. This is my core skill or art which I want to take forward. So that is like playing safe. But when you go in the 4 to 6 bandwidth, you are testing yourself now to become entrepreneur, to give empowerment to people, and make good leaders as well. And when you're ready to scale, that means you have developed the whole vision and mindset for yourself. Now, what is the entrepreneurial mindset? Now, why do you need a mindset to be an entrepreneur? First, I need you to know what is a definition of a entrepreneurial mindset. It is basically when you start seeking opportunities where others see obstacles. Now you tell me that there's a person who sees obstacles everywhere. Ye nahi ho raha, wo nahi ho raha, this is not happening, that is not happening. But there are people, certain set of people who seek opportunities in these obstacles. They seek these opportunities from the problems people are facing to create some value proposition in the market, who are ready to take responsibility for the outcome. The people are good entrepreneurs, are people with a mindset who are ready to take the ownership of their own work, of their own vision. That, okay, if something goes wrong, I am the person who's responsible for it, who empowers people also and take the whole ownership on himself. Tolerance of uncertainty and imperfection. Now, a business or a scalable business or any business does not ever have any certain point that it's going to be predictable. It's never. You cannot predict what's going to happen tomorrow. You cannot predict your customers. You cannot predict their behaviors. You cannot predict your sales figures. But he is very much tolerant to all this uncertainty and imperfection. Now, vision over confidence. I have the confidence to make a business, to bring out the potential which a business should have. But if I lack vision, I don't know where I have to reach. Where is my value proposition creating? That way, I will have. So my vision becomes stronger than my confidence. So that is what an entrepreneur should be. His vision should be stronger than his confidence. Constant learning and adaptation. Now, it's very, very important. We all feel that, especially if I come from a very traditional family business background, and I am also married in a very family oriented family business background. So, these people have always followed a certain pattern of doing a business. But today, if I want to scale a business, I want to make a business stronger, a visionary business that requires constant learning. I need to adapt to new systems, to changing environments, to changing trends. Like, for example, if today AI is my requirement, if today the world is moving towards a better, upgraded system of artificial intelligence, and if I'm not following it or maybe not learning it, or don't have people with this same skill set, so then it might happen that after a point of time, my business would start dying. It will come to a point which will come to stagnation. So, stagnation, that's why I always say stagnation is more dangerous than failure. It's always good to keep trying hard, to keep adapting and failing. But if you stagnate, if you go into a comfort zone, this is what I want to do, this is what I'm comfortable with now. So, that comfort is more dangerous than the failure. So always keep the hustle going, always keep moving your mind, always keep adapting, always keep learning. So this is very important for an entrepreneurial mindset. So keep upgrading your skills, keep following mentors, keep coaches for yourself who can guide you, uh, who can mentor you for a better ecosystem, for creating a better ecosystem. Now, after doing so much about entrepreneur mindset, we all know that actually true traits of entrepreneurs should be that he should be visionary. You know something, that the business of an business always scales on the bandwidth of the entrepreneur. So when you have a bandwidth, suppose you think ki, I can do only 10 crores of business, this is what my bandwidth is, I can't do more than this is all I have. So your business is only going to scale that much. But when your bandwidth keeps increasing every year, that's where you start thinking of scaling vision. That is called the scaling mindset. Then resilient. Now resilient means always stronger and stronger, and keep trying and adapting. never taking yourself back, always trying hard. Adaptable, an entrepreneur should always be very adaptable to new trends, new environment, and he should be able to create a value in the market. Basically, so which I figured it out is entrepreneur is just not a businessman. From my perspective, he is he is a seer person who sees what is not visible. He has created a vision. It is it with some when someone cannot. He's a rebellious person. He risks his ego, his comfort, and creates something which no one else could. He is chasing meaning and not profits all the time. So an entrepreneur is an innovator, he's a leader, he's a visionary, and someone with a team sometimes, and someone who is a lonely warrior sometimes. So, an entrepreneur is just not a science, it's a journey to root. So, let's get on to this journey and create that mindset to scale your business. बहुत लोग ऐसा सोचते हैं कि देर आर सम वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट स्केलिंग मिथ्स जो हमारे माइंड में होते हैं कि हाउ डू आई स्केल अ बिजनेस आई नीड लोन आई नीड मनी आई नीड सम वेंचर कैपिटलिस्ट टू फंड मी आई नीड सम person to help me. I need a partner or I need someone to give me that push. Okay, now I can scale my business. So let's myth bursting karte hain abhi. Let's burst those myths. So the first myth is need VC to grow. You really don't need VC to grow. Second, more sales, more complexity. And third is procrastination. That is delay scaling. Scaling. That okay, let's think about it next year. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's think about it. Let's make a plan. Let's do it. So finally, you end up nowhere. You're stagnated your mindset. So actually, the truth is systems drive scaling and not the size. So to reach somewhere you have to remove yourself from somewhere. तो कहीं पहुंचने के लिए कहीं से अपने आप को निकालना पड़ेगा. तो वो निकालने के लिए to come out of that particular hustle, then only you will reach to heights. So now that hustle is what? What is that hustle? That hustle is operations, which every person is completely engrossed into. Now I'll tell you a story. Now there's so many things I've not written in the PPT because this is something so interesting to deliver without writing it on the slide. I'll tell you a story. There was a baker. I had read it in a very famous book called The One Thing. It's by. It's now that it's. There was a baker who was very good at baking cakes and pastries. Now, what happened is one day he thought, I want to become a businessman. Let's do a good business of baking. So, what happened? He started a baking business. He opened his own bakery shop. He started baking. He loved the baking. People started coming, taking the cakes and pastries and cupcakes. They started enjoying his food, his quality, his taste. And he was very happy to bake and sell those bakery products. Now, one day he thought that, wow, I mean, I'm so good at baking, let's scale it. Let's put more items on my plate. And but I have to take care of the accounts. Who'll take care? He was billing, he was accounting, he was doing every part. He was cleaning the bakery. He was in the morning coming early to do the course. So basically, he involved in everything. In the process, his cupcakes and pastries started tasting average and then below average, and his sales started to drop because he was doing everything else rather than baking. In the process, he forgot that what he enjoyed at a point of time was lost in the journey. So basically, this story is for you to identify that what was the problem in this whole mindset. He was confident, he was good at what he was doing, he thought he will scale the business, he had a vision. The problem was no teamwork. He had no people, he had not hired anyone to do the other work for him. So he lost the path, he lost the joy of making the cakes, and got into operations which he was not skilled for. So basically he was surviving. Now when you come to the scaling mindset, scarcity, you have to come out of this mindset of scarcity कि मेरे पास बहुत कम funding है या फिर I don't have people to work for me. So now change that mindset to the abundance mindset. Yes, now I have a lot of funding. I have abundance mindset that works with law of attraction. You can do it with a lot of tools, which I had already explained in the last session. Then second, you want to control everything. There are people who are control freaks. I have seen it in reality. Like I can give you an example of my own father or my own husband. At a point of time, they were control freaks. They wanted everything to be in their control. कि मुझे पता होना चाहिए what is being spent, what is being coming, what is being sold, what is being done. Every goddamn thing should be under their control. So what happened is they started getting so much on their plate that their sales actually started going down or getting stagnated. So every year, if you see an 18 to 20% of growth in your income, you feel that, oh wow, I have grown. Every year, I'm growing my turnover by 15 to 20%. No, but I don't think that is growth. Growth doesn't come if you don't scale it to 50 to 70% of their turnover. So you start delegating and empowering people, start hiring people. Hiring is very, very important. Building teams is very, very important. So delegate and empower people is what you need. You cannot control everything. You're not an expert of everything. So you need people who are expert at what they do and then just overlook or manage those things. Now, third is mindset. People think that it's a very hustle-based mindset. People come with a mindset that, starting a business is totally like a lot of hustle. You have to run around. You have to just keep everywhere. You'll be everywhere, all over the place. You have to run around a lot. You have to work for longer hours. So I feel that change this mindset to a system-based mindset. Now, this is a very, very important word. It's called the systems. Now, in this 1 hour class, I may not be able to tell you how to create the systems. Y'all can contact me directly if you all have questions regarding how to hire people, where to hire, or how to create systems. But it is very important to create those systems. Systems is it's very important role is to create systems in your business. Like systems, as in you can say scalable systems, create workflows, define processes which are repeated and create automation for those processes and hire people to work for those processes. So basically, this is a whole ecosystem which you've created in your business, which we call as the business automation. So you get free from operations and you start working on the growth of the company. So as an entrepreneur, I think the role of an entrepreneur is growth and scaling and not operation based. Entrepreneurs' energy zones. Now, there are 3 energy zones which an entrepreneur operates. That is, first zone is called the zone of chaos. Now, why do I call it the zone of chaos? Now, it's very important that there's so much clutter around you that when you start thinking of scaling a business, you are not able to manage the clutter around you. Basically, there's so much of chaos. So, आपको ऐसे लगता है कि अभी बहुत chaos हो गया, ये हो गया, वो हो गया, there's so much to do on my plate. And then once you start recognizing कि okay, you have made a system of certain things, you've hired a certain group of people to work for you, then you get into the zone of comfort. Now, when you start creating systems, when you start hiring people, you start getting into the zone of comfort. Now, this is more dangerous than the zone of chaos. In the zone of chaos, you had the mindset to create value, to create profits, and to scale the business. But when you come to a point where you are comfortable, you get comfortable with the environment. Okay, जो चल रहा है वैसे चल रहा है, अच्छा चल रहा है. Why you need to touch so much now? Okay, we can do this. Scale करते हैं, कर लेंगे. You become comfortable. This is what I call stagnation. So you have to break this pattern. when you are in the comfort zone, you have to break this pattern. Then you get into the zone of conscious scaling. Now, conscious scaling is creating a plan for yourself, for your business, for the next 3 years, and on a pattern, on the trends, how you've performed earlier, and then create a plan for your year, for the next year, or maybe for the 3 years. How you will scale, what is your vision, what are your goals, how will you delegate these goals to people, start empowering higher authorities, HODs, departmental, start segregating departments. So that's the time you start making plans. I know a businessman I'm in touch with that business person, and he takes 3 months of a year just to plan his entire year. So planning is more important than execution. So once you plan your scaling vision, then it's very easy for you to execute. Now, how will you build this entrepreneurial culture in your organization? You will create, when you hire people with a certain mindset. Okay, this person is going to do accounts, this person is going to create systems, this person is going to create payments, or he's going to be in the banking sector, banking department, sale department, stock department. So we started creating, but then you started realizing that you have not empowered them to take decisions or made them accountable for them. So it is very important to create leaders and not followers. Give them, give them how, give them those skill sets, tools, and start giving them uh, the tools and skills to create better propositions in your business, and not just followers. आपने कहा आज accounts कर दो, आज ये ला दो, आज वो ला दो, and they were done. So this is one very important thing. Second thing is very important is delegate decisions, not just tasks. What happens is sometimes, for example, I'll take you through my example. We have a department called transportation and logistics, which is very important. I'm a trader into textile chemicals. So for us, transportation and logistics is very important area. So what happens is we have kept a dedicated resource who will only take care of the transportation and logistics. Now, earlier, when we were giving the person tasks, we were telling him, ye aaya kya, this maal gaya kya, ye hua kya, ye wo hua kya. We used to take updates and give them, isse phone pe baat kar lo, ye yahan se lo, wahan dalo, yahan se karo, wahan pe dalo. But then we realized that that person is getting dependent to our decisions only. Every 10th minute or 20th minute, that person used to come to me and ask me that, how will I किससे बात करना है, क्या बात करना है, कैसे बोलना है, वो आ नहीं रहा, वो जा नहीं. Then I started realizing that what I have created is task and not decision. So now then I started empowering that DR with with decision making powers. That now I start telling him that you figure out how it's going to be. That is called the help slip in the company. That person before coming to me should have an answer before me. So what happened is when that person is to come to me that ये कैसे करना है, ये क्या कैसे होगा, should I do this, then I used to ask him, आप बताओ कैसे होगा. I never gave a solution. Slowly and gradually, your team will start thinking, will start taking those decisions before you take them for them. So start delegating decision and not tasks. Third, build ownership with feedback and wins. Now, it's very important that the people who work for you, they should always feel that it's a feedback and not a comment or an insult. So it's very important that you build that kind of a culture in your environment, in your entrepreneurial environment, that you have given them the ownership of their decisions, and give them the feedback of whatever decisions they have taken, whether good, whether bad. Both are equally important. It's not important that you only give them bad feedback and good ones are okay not to give. It's very important to give the good ones as well, so that they can celebrate their wins, they can be motivated and incentivized for a better culture in the office. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. So this is what is very, very important, is if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go with people. Are you able to see my PPT? Hello?
Yeah, we can see it.
All right. So next is now we are going to create something very important, is systems important than people. Now, today in the generation of AI, where people are literally in organizations, there are people who work with one person as well, because AI is creating systems. So systems have become more important than people in the organization. So make system driven organization and not people driven organization. People are important to drive systems, but systems are important today to keep the whole ecosystem in place of the organization, with hands on tools and tasks. So, why do I say that systems are important and how are they supposed to be made? Systems are important, I've already told you. Now, the first step to create system is SOPs. Now, in as a chartered accountant, we have all studied audit, accounting, taxation, and we from more than 10 years, 20 years, say we are following this very progressive approach called the SOPs, that is a standard operating procedures. Now, for every area in an organization which the entrepreneur is doing, or the team member is doing, or the HODs are doing, start writing the SOPs, start writing their entire procedures of doing every task they do in the day. Start doing process documentations. In audit, in as chartered accountants, we are very well aware that process documentation is very, very important. But now this awareness has come to our organizations as well, that every goddamn process, every process in the organization, may it be hiring, may it be payroll, may it be accounts, may it be order to delivery, may it be stock, every process needs to be documented. How production management systems, your MIS systems, every process needs to be documented under a certain department, and those process, and then you have to identify the repeatable flows in the process. Now there are processes which work on a standard note, like 1 to 10, every step should be followed, then you will get the result is this. So these are called repeatable flows. Once you figure out these repeatable flows, processes, and SOPs, and then you ask people to follow only these matters, then they start creating scalable workflows. Like every time you don't have to go to the same process, repeat, you have to explain the process or maybe follow it or do it. You have to just follow the system. So this is what system will get you. Scalable workflows. It's very, very important. Creating mind maps, more important. Now, when you want to scale a business, it's very important first to write down your process, then create a mind map that how this process is moving, how this whole scenario is moving, and then you have to design flow charts. Now, what are flow charts? Flow charts are very, हम लोगों ने ये फ्लो चार्ट्स पढ़े थे हमारे स्कूल में, कॉलेज में, सीए में, बट देन वी स्टार्टेड not giving it so much of importance. But flow charts are very, very strong tool to create and design your processes and SOPs and repeatable workflows. So this is what I mean by scalable workflows and importance of system. So this whole thing will start creating your system from scratch. So now, as business owners, go to your office, take all the tasks of particular person or a department, ask them to jot down all the steps which they follow in a process, and then start creating mind maps and flow charts, and then do a whole repeatable flow. Make a repeatable flow. In the flow, we also design the entire tag, that is the turnaround time of a particular task. We also design who is going to do the task, what is the task about, and how they are going to do it. So these are very important aspects of creating systems. Then you can create a scalable workflow. Now, now we are on a very verge of completing my PPT. But there are a lot of things which you will get into this, and you will go and think back. Now what I have to do? How do I scale? How do I vision my business with? So let's, in 2 lines, just write our vision of 3 years. At least not 3 years, then at least 1 year. Where do you want to be in 2028? I want you to answer this with in your own self. Where do you want to be in 2028? Very important. Very, very que- uh, it's a very deep question, because what happens is it's very easy. It looks very easy, but when you start writing it down, that मुझे वहां पहुंचना तो है, but is it meaningful to me? Is it going to create some value for me? How am I going to do it? So that's where comes the plan the year. There are 2 books, one I have written here and one which I strongly recommend people to follow is Plan the Year, the 12-week Plan the Year. That book is phenomenal. I mean, I have personally followed that book for a very long time. It is a book which will give you insight of your entire 1 year goals, which can be achieved in 12 weeks. So there is a process which that book follows. It is a very, very strong process. It's a science which cannot be denied. It's a science which is working for a lot of entrepreneurs. So please go and buy that book. Plan the Year, 12-week Plan the Year. Next is One Thing by Gary Keller. Now, this book is also my first book which I read as an entrepreneur when I wanted to scale my business, when I wanted to start my business from scratch, which is called One Thing. This book strongly tells you that identify that one thing which will be required to achieve your goal. So it's a very, very strong book. Please do go home and buy these books and read them. It will really change your mindset. Now, we come to identifying your inner blockers. Now, what is very important is we are confident, we have created a vision, we have created an entrepreneurial mindset, we have created a business. Now, but there are some blockages which we always have in our mind. So, we always call it the second voice. If you know that we all voice, there's a second voice always saying, "Arey, no, 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 you can't do this. No, 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 you can't do this. How is it going to be possible?" So let's identify those inner blockers. Typical blocks, fear of failure. हम कुछ भी काम करना चाहेंगे ना, सबसे पहले we will have that fear of failure. That fear that if I fail, if this does not work, how am I going to control the issues? That feeling of being unready for facing the failure. Second blocker is second thing, you have to change this block into an empowering belief. No, I am ready to it. I am ready for it. I can control this. So there are certain beliefs. I'll tell you what the belief first thing. I can't let go. So now change this into an empowering belief. I delegate and trust my team. Sometimes you're not ready to give away things from your own hand, because everyone thinks I'm the best boss in the world. I'm the best person who can do everything. No one can do better than me. Yes, obviously, no one can do better than you. You are best. You have created this whole business. There will be no one who can do things better than you in your own organization. But even if someone else is giving you that freedom of 70% of your tasks, and you get free with 70% of your time, it's a lot. Imagine one day, if you calculate your MVOT, that is money value of time of an entrepreneur, which will go so into, you'll go into deep sleep if you see your MVOT. So it's always important how to calculate your MVOT. So there's a formula which, if you all want to know about it, you all can call me, discuss about it. So once an entrepreneur knows his MVOT, the day that his heart will sink and say, "Oh my God, I'm spending so much of my time and money on things which are not giving me anything." rather than on things which I should be doing. I should get where the money is, where the profits are. So that's the day you will realize I will delegate and trust my team and not always trust on my instincts and my work. Second, I'm not ready. Always you think कि कोई भी काम करने से पहले, कुछ भी करने से पहले you think I'm not ready. But once you start thinking I'm ready to improve and start imperfectly, the biggest thing which we all have in our mind is that we want to be perfect at everything we do. It's not possible. We are not perfect at everything we do. We are starting with level 10 already. So we should always start imperfectly. It's okay to start simple, to start in the worst possible manner, but it's okay to start. You have to start simple. Start simple. Don't reach to conclusions and think ki, no, I want to do everything perfect right from the start, which is never going to happen, and you will not start. And that's why the things get delayed. So always start, then keep improving. It's fine, but start is important. What if I fail? So never think that every failure is a negative comment. It's a feedback. When you take failures as feedbacks, you will start learning and going towards success. So always take failures as feedbacks towards success and not as negative emotion in your mind. Very important. So we all are here, very importantly, that now we all have entrepreneurial DNA in us. We all want to do something. We are all pepped up that we want to do this. So think bold, think big, build systems, and lead with heart. It's very important to lead with your heart, gratitude, and connect. Be always grateful to what you have. Build amazing systems with people around you. And think big, think bold. The last thing which I come is gratitude and connect, which we all should get into our business. That nothing can be scalable, no vision works if you don't have the gratitude towards what you have. So always be grateful, be happy with what you have, and connect with your employees, with your team, with your customers, with your vendors. Always keep a very cordial connect with them. Though you don't deal with them daily, though you are not being seen by them daily, but always create a connect. So I always tell people, we have always done these meetings which we have in our office called the team alignment meetings. So we have the MIS alignment meetings. So these are like the TAMs and WAMs which we do in our office, weekly alignment meetings, which always keep you connected with your own staff, with people, how they're dealing with things, how they want you to know things. So I think that's a very strong point, is always create gratitude and connect in your office, in your organization. So I'm done with this. I'm sure. Okay, there's an important slide which I want to show. These are the books which I follow, and they are very, very amazing books. And one is the 12-Week Cure by Brian Moran. And this book has changed life. I mean, you can apply this book in any field of your life. It can be your health, it can be relationships, it can be business, it can be sales, it can be anything you want to achieve can be easily achieved if you follow this book. There are so many YouTube videos. There are so many people who are even taking coaching for this kind of a book. Is amazing. So please do buy this book and follow this book. There are a lot of YouTube videos and content available in PDFs to follow this. Buy back your time. This is a very important concept. An entrepreneurial mindset needs time. And where will you get that time from? From your own business, from your own life, by giving up on operations and working towards better growth and scalable visions. So you have to buy back that time. You will never get that time. You have to buy it back by creating teams, by creating a culture, systems. Third is profit first. Now, many a times an entrepreneur in the journey of his business forgets to look at the profit and just wants to scale the business. Scaling is is not a big thing, guys. Scaling is very easy. If you tomorrow I want to do a business of 100 crores, even as a trader, tomorrow I can go and sell goods and it's easy for me to get a turnover. But what about the profits? What about the payments? How are my cycles going to run? So profit is very, very important. So always work on your profits and not on your turnovers and income. Only look at profits. It's okay what a turnover is, whatever is. Your profits should double every year. Third and very important book in my life, The Secret. The Secret is changing lives, transforming lives. There is a very beautiful movie which is there on YouTube. So you can go and watch the movie. It will really change your mindset to a very great extent. Who, not how. Now, this is such a powerful book. I can't tell you. This book has so many insights on how to find the who of every task. You have to find, you don't have to be the who of everything. You have to find the who of every task. Then, as an entrepreneur, you will get free and you will invest that free time in growth and scalable businesses. So it's very important to follow this book, Who Not how to develop systems and find who's for every task. In my organization, 90% of the work is done by the people, not by me. I'm only involved in decision matters. So this is here I am with my presentation today. These are a lot of things which practically are I have applied in my business, and I might not have touched 100 crore today, but yes, we have a plan ready for 2 years. And from a one person staff, today we are operating at a 10 people staff with 2 corporate offices. So it's a big deal for me in a 1 year scale when I involved myself into these books, indulged with my coaches and mentors. And this can happen with you guys also. You need to get in touch with me if you have any queries. So this is my Instagram ID. This is my mobile number and my email ID. You can email your queries to me. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. Hello. So today I am done with my session.
Thank you, Khushbu ma'am.
Any queries, questions coming up?
I'm quickly checking on the latest question panel. Just give me a moment.
I don't know why am I not visible in my video. How am I supposed to stop share?
All right. So CA Rajashri Kankriya this side. Um, First of all, thank you, Khushbu ma'am, for a very insightful session. When I'm checking the question answers panel and I check, there are more compliments than the questions for you.
Oh
And
God.
there are actually there are actually no questions are
viewers and listeners have said it's a very insightful session, and they have also mentioned thank you for the session. So, formally to conclude the session, I
Please
would
give me
like
the
to
best
express.
comment you read right now.
Okay, just a moment. I'll read it
It'll
out
make
to you.
my day.
Yeah, sure. So Madhura says this was very interesting session. Thank you.
Thank you,
Okay, we
Madhura.
do have one question from Jyoti just now,
Yes.
and she says, "What are AI tools we can use to be more efficient in practice?"
There are a lot of AI tools, but depends on what is the purpose of you using the AI for. So AI is a vast subject. What I use in my business are very important. N8N is an automation software which has all integrations of AI tools. So you can explore N8N, which is amazing. I mean, it's not AI, but it integrates all the AI tools at one place. And for the ppts and all which we make, sales deck, pitches and all, we use gamma AI, which is very helpful when we create pitches, brochures for products, for sales deck. So it's very important. Yes, and chat gpt is very very helpful for creating prompts for these ais. So I think you can use N8N, you can explore. And there's one more new which has come, which is called Perplexity. You can explore that as well, which is also a very good, powerful AI. I just went through it last week, but not yet used it. But I found it very nice. So you can go and check these two tools, which is N8N and Gamma AI, and third one is which one I said? Chat GPT
Perplexity.
and Perplexity. AI is
Um,
taking over, guys. I mean, you if you really want to scale, you want to do something big, please get into AI, start exploring, and a lot of YouTube content on the videos on internet available. You don't need to be an expert. You can read, you can learn, keep learning. I think it's very insightful. So get on to this.
I agree with you on this.
Yes.
And ICI has also, released quite a few good programs, AI, participant certification course and all that. They've launched in Pune also, I think.
Oh, amazing. I would love to know about these. I'll go and explore them for sure. Because I'm like totally now getting into AI very slowly and gradually. So we've created a lot of systems on AI Excel, and now we are getting into AI automation, creating ERP websites. So it's very, very engaging and as well as very quick.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's very nice. Thank you, Tasneem ma'am.
Thank you.
By the way, it was all a wonderful platform, actually. It's a beautiful platform. I wish.
Also, Neelu from Mumbai says, "Thanks for such good book recommendations." Khushbu ma'am, this was for
Okay.
you.
Thank you so much. Books are, I have read personally all these books. I mean, even I've seen so many YouTube videos on these books, and these books will really somewhere change your life. They will get you to a point that you will be mentally forced ki, oh wow, this can happen like this. Is it so easy? Is it so tried and tested by so many people which we are not aware of? That fear of scaling goes away.
Okay. Okay, we do have one question from Tasneem ma'am as well.
Yes.
If cryptocurrency is not classified as currency under FEMA, but is traded globally like one, should this be treated a digital asset, a commodity, or a foreign exchange instrument? Could you advise?
Yeah, it is treated as this thing, no? In income tax, that they've already taxed it also, but they are saying that this is not a legal tender. So you can't treat this actually as money. But now, I mean, things are changing. Sooner or later, we are going to have, more acts into place. That's why I gave the description of all the acts, like, what Companies Act is saying, what Income Tax Act is saying. So there are all different things happening. So you can treat it, it's a virtual digital asset, VDA, and it is taxable as per income tax. If you're trading in it, 30% flat rate with your education cess at 4%.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. I hope, Anita, this answers your question. If there are any follow-up questions or any new questions, please feel free to pour in the Q&A box. All right. I do not see any new questions being sent in the Q&A panel, and I think all the answers and the discussion have been so insightful that we do not have any more questions. So here I'm proceeding for the vote of thanks formally. Thanks to our wonderful speakers today, Khushbu ma'am and Tasneem ma'am, for apprising us, and also my gratitude for all for taking out time to join the session and making it successful. Thank you so much and have a great evening ahead.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Thank
you.
you
Thank you
so
very much.
much,
Thank you.
Sneha, Rajshri, everyone, Saurabh. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
For all the
Thank you very
insights.
much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Tasneem, ma'am.
Bye.
Bye. Can we log out?
Yes, sir. Please end the session, sir.